Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I want to give you a framework or a set of steps you can follow to hire a remote team of helpers in your business. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, who am I going to hire and why would I want to hire someone remotely? Well, until you actually find out the myriad of possibilities that are out there and things that you can get done that you may have been struggling with in your business up until now, or maybe even things that you didn't even realize were a possibility, you're going to find that out once you go through some of these things that you can outsource for. And also once you apply yourself to it and you start hiring some people, maybe to do small things for your business and dip your toe in the water and start realizing the possibilities of what's out there, then this may all make sense to you. Now, my name's Alan Myberg, and I'm co-owner and part of running a total and permanent disability business working out of Sydney, Australia, and we service the whole of the Australian market. We also do personal injury, and I run the marketing side of the business, and that has been instrumental in the growth of our business, has been how I have looked and approached taking cold eyeballs from digital marketing and the internet and brought them into our world through various marketing initiatives and turned them into clients that have signed with us. And in doing so, I went down the path of recruiting from the Philippines mainly, but also team from other parts of the world, and found out what an absolute miracle it is to be able to find these incredibly talented people around the world that you can hire on a gig basis, part-time basis, or even a permanent basis, and how easily you can find some of the most talented human beings all just through the internet. So it really has been an absolute game changer in our business. And one of the other really big changes for me was I was listening to a podcast some years ago, two exceptional marketing gurus, Dean Jackson and Dan Sullivan. And on this podcast that they were talking about various things, but one of the things, and the podcast was called The Joy of Procrastination. It's a remarkable podcast. It's no longer running. It's changed into a different podcast with the two same hosts, but I digress. In this particular episode, they came up with this idea that procrastination is as a result of us not knowing what it is that we should be moving on with next. And they posited this beautiful concept or idea, which is nothing new. It's just, I think they put a really nice ribbon around it. And I think some of the great brains of the world have always been doing this. But they asked themselves, who, not how. That's what they came up with. And Dan Sullivan ended up having a book written, I believe, with Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And it would serve you to go and buy the book and read it. Who, not how. So ask who, not how. And in almost every instance, if you ask who, not how, who's going to do this, not how am I going to do it, and who is the absolute expert, that will serve you really well, and it'll give you the opportunity to do what it is that you're great at and work within your zone of genius. And if your zone of genius is litigation or doing that part of your business, go and do that and get people around you that can really turn the other bits and pieces in your business into works of art, into things that you could never do. It's because they're so very good at doing it. And that book really opened my eyes to doing this. And I'll say one other thing. I remember also reading a book or hearing a podcast possibly by a gentleman by the name of Cameron Herold, I think, if the name comes back to me correctly. And he spoke about a vivid vision. Now, a vivid vision in this instance, I mean painting a picture for the staff member or the person about the ideal outcome, what it is that you would like them to achieve. This is something that is important to do. When you give the task over to someone, or when you get them doing the job that you want them to do, painting a picture for them of what 100% success looks like, what it will look like once we have achieved what we want to achieve. The clarity with which you can do that will dictate a lot of the outcomes. These people have the skills, they have the ability, but they need to be given the direction and the know-how to be able to go and deliver on these particular tasks and requests from you. So bearing that all in mind, let's look at some ideas, and let's not let this video get too long. So first and foremost, let's think of some things that we could outsource. Obviously, any form of, let me get my highlighter, any form of creative work. So this is going to cover things like design work, graphics, creative assets, and things like that. So you may be thinking about having a load of Facebook or Instagram carousels or image tiles or ads done on a daily basis, so you just stay front of mind, and that your Facebook news feed is always full of new material. This is what we're talking about. We may be thinking about flyers or products that you could get out into the market, showcasing what it is that you're doing, those types of creative assets and creative work. Writing. You may need a book written for your particular type of service, or maybe you want to showcase your USP or what it is that you do in your business really well and write a book about your journey, how you got to where you are now, and why it is that you do what you do. Finding ghostwriters who can take a digital voice recording of what you do or what it is that you say and turn that into a written work. They will do it far better than you can. And the difference of having a published Kindle Direct published book that's on Amazon for people to buy, or you can buy copies and send to people when they sign up with you, or whatever the case may be, maybe in real estate or in immigration law or some form of commercial law, and you write a book and you send it to someone. It's like a lead magnet that you can post out to someone, or just to make sure that you seal the deal, whatever it is that you're using it for. Those things are fantastic. But now you could be thinking that you want one of these done. It'll take you 6 months. It could take you 3 years. It could take one of these people 3 weeks. They will tell you what the framework is. They will give you the steps. They will help you break it down into a table of contents, and then all you do is either open up an app like Loom on your desktop and record the video, or otherwise just talk into the voice recorder on your mobile device and just drop the files to them. They will turn that into a written piece. So you could get a book written. Within 3 weeks from now, you could have a book published on KDP. The beauty is these people will help you with the publishing. They'll help you with getting the design of the covers done, writing the preface, writing everything out, the whole lot, the layout, the way it needs to be laid out, so you get a physical book written. That is a huge one. Ads, to write up the copy for your Facebook ads, for your Google ads, to write scripts out for you, anything like that. So copywriting, any type of landing page copy that makes it compelling to read and follows a great framework. The copywriters you find on all of these particular recruitment boards where you can go and hire people, if they're advertising themselves out to the world as a genuine copywriter, they are going to understand the frameworks on how to write great copy. Great copy follows frameworks, and it is assembled. It is not just written willy-nilly, and they will understand it, and they'll be able to put together fantastic prose that'll help sell your product. Email sequences, it falls into the category of copywriting, but you may be in immigration law or family law or some form of real estate or commercial law where you do nurture customers who are thinking of doing something and wanting to find out more, and they may download an ebook or a PDF or a blueprint or a guide from your websites or landing pages. Thereafter, they will fall into a sequence of emails, and those emails on an autoresponder or just on a daily newsletter or 3 times a week would go out to these potential future clients, help them with great solutions and ideas and things that they should be considering, all building you up and your credibility up and your authority and your social proof. You can put in testimonials and all sorts of case studies in those emails, and just all building you up as the authority in the space. Those email sequences written by folks offshore, remotely, away from your office. Obviously the big one for me, video editing. Short form or long form. Long form would be videos like on YouTube, where you want to educate customers on what it is that your business does. It's just a advert out on the YouTube, just helping people all the time. And the beauty about the search engines, of which YouTube is, it's part of Google, but it's one of the biggest search engines in the world. And when people search for things that even could be geographically constrained to the area where you operate, and they could be looking for help on a certain subject and your YouTube video could come up as the top of the search results. I'm seeing it more and more and seeing it happen more and more. To get those videos edited, just go to the professionals. They know how these videos need to be edited for YouTube and what works and what style works. It's a no-brainer. Simply go out to these sites and get your video edited there. Don't get someone local to you. Don't worry about doing that. Firstly, it's going to be 3 times the price, and they are not going to be as in touch as these people who are competing on a daily basis for their livelihood to be the very, very best. Trust me on this. Now, leads intake specialists. This is controversial sometimes for a lot of people. They don't want anyone outside of their country making calls or taking calls. We do it very successfully, and we have a call center. So numbers that we have that may be going through Ringba or any other services that we can track and get the recordings on that are coming into our call centers, we have those call centers manned 24/7 offshore. We hire paralegals, administration clerks, people to get in touch with insurers or superannuation funds or whoever it may be, and get the administrative tasks handled on a day-to-day basis. We hire out there. A big one, web development. You may need things like funnels built, websites, assessments online, quizzes that people could go through to answer a few questions so you could see where they are in their journey and what help they need from you. I think of immigration, for instance. They could answer a few questions about their particular visa that they require or the job that they do, so you could find out where they fit in to the help that you could give them. It could be for a real estate scenario, anything like that. You'd ask the questions, and so that you could compartmentalize these people and find out where it is that you could help them and add tags to them. This is all done by great web developers. They set all of these logic trees up and build all these things so that they all work together. Along with the websites, obviously you're going to want software tools that can work with them as well. CRM that might be able to plug in to the particular funnel software. I use a CRM software for the marketing side of the business, and this is that I give to all the clients that work with me as well. But those tools would require someone just to make certain aspects of it work, and you could get for instance, the Facebook advertising conversion API, they call it. You can plug the conversion API directly into the CRM so that it can tell Facebook when a lead that has come in is of good quality or not, so that you can educate the platform. Those types of things can be done by a web development specialist. So those plugging in software tools, making software tools all work together. You may want to use Zapier to take someone from your leads intake CRM, like we use, and you want to put them into your actual software CRM that manages matters legally. We use Action Step, for instance, and you just zap them out when a matter is created, that kind of thing. All their details can be brought over. A web development specialist is going to be able to do that. And AI-related agents and tools, you may want to start using AI more in your business. You may want to get a chatbot built. Someone can talk to a customer something that can talk to a customer or a client 24/7 and help them with certain solutions and possibly put them in touch and hook up a call even with your 24/7 specialist, lead intake specialist. So I can put you in touch with a specialist now, and the API can call onto them and make that call happen. And these AI agents can work. One AI agent can talk to another AI agent that can call someone on the phone so they can speak to a human being. You may have seen it yourself, where the little bubble says you can being connected to an agent right now. That's connecting you to a real-time person that can go through Ringba or an equivalent service, and you can trace the call, and that can go into your leads intake specialist. So all of those types of things done by web development people. Now, Webmaster, very, very similar, but slightly different in the sense that you may want to be putting on a lot of tracking pixels, Google tracking, Facebook pixels or cookies, to make sure you know what people are doing on your websites, and so that you can retarget them and get back in touch with them once they've visited your website. So that's what a webmaster is going to do for you. And obviously also things like Google My Business and Google My Business profiles and manage all that type of thing. And search engine optimization. Make sure that content or blogs rank highly in Google. It's becoming less and less of a thing these days because of AI. I think you want to be focusing more of your attention on understanding AI and AI agents and what AI can do for you than SEO. But SEO still plays a role, and it will play a role for a little while to come. Obviously, digital advertising. getting someone hired in that understands the Meta platform backwards, or the Meta suite. So they understand the business manager intimately. They can build out audiences in Meta. They can retarget people based on people who've watched videos and retarget them with certain ads and set up ads with different campaign profiles and objectives. Sometimes you want to set it to a conversion objective. So we know that we've converted someone. We then it converts within our CRM, and that information is communicated back to Facebook, or for that matter, Google or YouTube. And it tells these platforms' algorithms that is a worthwhile lead. Optimize for more of those. The algorithms know the type of person that is searching, and it optimizes for more of those types of people based on the millions of data points that they've aggregated all over their data sets, and they find more of those people. So that's what you would want from a very good person with good media buying for Meta Suite, or for that matter, Google or YouTube. TikTok, maybe not so much anymore. It seems like the hammer's coming down on there. We don't quite know. But nonetheless, that is another thing you can hire. So that really covers more or less what it is that you could go to almost right away and find great people that would be able to help with some of those roles. So then if we look at it then after that, where do we go to hire these people? Well, firstly, my go-to ones would be Fiverr, would be one of the platforms you could go to. So on Fiverr, what you see is what you get with the people that you hire. And it's mainly gig-based. They will say to you, this is what I can do for you. This is the result you can expect. And you might be able to buy certain packages. But here's the package A, package B, and package C across certain price points. And what you see is what you get. That's mainly what you're going to get on Fiverr. A lot of competition, and sometimes you can be lacking in quality. Upwork is my favorite for gig or part-time hires, because you find people there that will put in a pitch, and the pitch or suggest to you what they can offer, and it may not be strictly a gig. This is what I'm offering you, and what you see is what you get, which is the Fiverr option. They may take your job description into account and say to you, based on what you've put in your job description or in your advert, I could do X, Y, and Z for you. And you could get into a chat to them, and they would tailor the service that they could provide to your requirements. Now, the other thing that's really interesting about it is that you've got far more ability to negotiate on Upwork as opposed to Fiverr, where it's priced very, very low and it's a race to the bottom. And on Fiverr, it's 100% what you see is what you get. On Upwork, they're going to come to you with a higher price. You're going to be able to negotiate, and you're also going to be able to set in your job whether you want a beginner, an intermediate, or an expert. And so you're going to get responses from a cohort of people that fit that criteria. Thereafter, you can negotiate. They can come to you with suggestions and ideas. They also have a very, very good grading system. So, you know, if someone's got five stars on their Upwork profile and they've got a large number of people that have used them already, it's going to be dead cert that you're hiring someone that is able to do the work that they say they can do. And it's also really good to find permanent people on Upwork. So that is Upwork. And then, yes, and the other thing is that it is a much easier platform to use, and it's definitely my favorite for gigs or for hiring for projects. Then we move on to onlinejobs.ph. I use onlinejobs.ph for hiring my permanent hires, and I find it the best solution out there for recruiting permanently. And it's more of a recruitment site. You go on there, there's people that have their CVs posted on there, and they are actively looking for permanent work or permanent part-time. They might have 20 hours available that they can give to someone else working with alongside another job, but it's usually more of a recruitment page on onlinejobs.ph. And you need to be, just put out there that you need to be very mindful about your job description and hiring process when you do hire on online jobs, because these people are all looking to fill a role, and these countries, one of the biggest exports is employment. And so they really are looking to fill a role, and they would oftentimes tell you what you want to hear. And so you really need to be mindful of how you hire and what you write up into your job ads, and be and set expectations, and certainly through the hiring process as well. So that brings us to the process of hiring. One of the most important things is your advertisement and the quality of your advertisement, and how you go into the job description. So one of the big things I always say is use ChatGPT to give you or Claude to give you some ideas on how to write this. Take some time to let the AI know what you're trying to achieve, how you're trying to hire, and go and lay it all out, and tell it that you want to get a job description written for one of these platforms. You'll be surprised at the tremendous quality that you can pick up. You've got to set expectations. That's very, very important, and what it is that they could expect from the job, and what it is that you would want from them. And it's also exceptionally important to not want to try and get a person who can do everything for you. I find this mistake made so often, where people hire from abroad, but then they somehow feel that they need to lump these people full of all these tasks to try and somehow get value for money, as if it was the fact that they were paying far less already for the person wasn't enough. And then you're trying to turn someone into a Swiss Army knife when they're a specialist in video editing, and that's not the way it works. So you really need to be focused on getting the person to do the job that you want to fill, the role that you want to fill, and just that. And don't try and hire someone for nothing. These people really are trying to give a tremendous service, but also make a living at the same time. They want to exist. That's, as I put there, I was just bullet pointing some of these notes out here, but they want to exist. They want to make a living for themselves, look after their families, and so you have to bear that in mind and be fair about it. But you can also expect exceptional talent. I have found far more talented people coming from these countries that I've recruited than I've been able to find on my doorstep. So that's something that you can expect if you go out there and hunt. Job exporting, is what they are doing. So they try and sell themselves really hard. So you do need to be very aware of that during the process, and that needs to be filtered into your interview, so that you can tease out the ability that the person will have. For instance, if you need them to have great English, then ask them to do you a video recording for 2 or 3 minutes just talking to the camera, and then also have a camera interview through Google Meet or Zoom, and so that you can really let them talk, and you can find out what their language, what their English is like. If top tier English is a prerequisite, then make sure you do that through the interview process. I like to put little Easter eggs into the job descriptions, maybe at the end, or leaving something that they must follow through with, or something that they must do, something that they may need to put into the subject line of the application reply, or whatever it may be. This gives you an idea then of how much attention to detail that these people may be having. And I also warn against people spamming your job posts. Spamming on job posts can happen on Upwork, on Fiverr as well, but also on these recruitment pages, and they will just literally throw out as many replies as they can, because they're keen to find work. They do have a tokenized system where you have X amount of tokens in a month, so that they can minimize the amount of spam. But you will notice then that they just put 1 token towards your application, and it will say in the corner, this particular candidate has applied for a large number of posts recently. So you can see that they are just spamming it out. And you will also see generic responses, things like, I have read your detailed post very, very clearly, and I believe I am the top person for the job, and things like that are very generic, instead of highlighting criteria from within your ad and replying to that. And that's why it's so important to write an ad where you have information in there that they would have to answer specifically, that they cannot have a generic reply to. And then being realistic about what you need done is, as I was alluding to before, don't expect to hire someone who is a Swiss Army knife and is going to be a master of everything, a jack of all trades and a master of everything. It's really not fair. And then finally, we get down to some of examples of staff that we have hired and what we do. Our lead intake specialists, as I said, 24/7, running on the phones, phoning all the time. That has been one of the biggest things for us, is having a team of people that are able to take phone calls or make phone calls 24/7. And paralegals, we can have an army of people for the price it would cost us 2 or 3 people within Australia. We can have an army of people that are doing mundane paperwork and replying to emails and taking those emails and dropping them into the matters within action step, but also then just using our AI that we have, our in-house AI ChatGPT, where they can go and drop information in to get responses written very, very quickly by the AI, and then just get those back out and reply to emails back to the insurers, because they're just always constantly wanting to drag their feet, as I'm sure it's no different anywhere in the world. And we're able to expedite this process so much quicker by having an army of people and using AI at the same time. So paralegals are a huge thing as well. Obviously, design and video edits and creative things like that. All of our ads, all of our video edits, as well as our total creative packages for our video ads, all done by remote team. All the web development, so our pages, landing pages, our assessments, everything created by offshore team. And then Google Ads specialists. I run all of our Facebook and Instagram ads. I'm a specialist myself in using the Meta system, and so I actually enjoy doing that, and I enjoy playing around with the whole system, so I'm very good at that. And whereas I am very useful in YouTube advertising, I have a Google Ads specialist that will run Google Ads for us and run our YouTube ads. So that's what we would recruit for from abroad. Amongst other minor things here and there, anytime I need something specialist done, I ask who's going to do it, not how am I going to do it. And I work within my zone of genius, which will be writing ads and creating ads to camera. I get myself on camera and create the video content myself. That's what I'm really good at. And I'm really good at creating ad campaigns that scale and that work very, very well. So I hope this has been helpful for you in seeing what it is that you can use Outsource Team for, and the doors that it can open in your business, and things that previously would have been difficult for you to hire for can be changed just in the blink of an eye. So if you would like any further help with any of this, and you would like any direction, I obviously all the CRM tools and all the advertising tracking and all the rest of it I build within our own suite of tools and software that I give over to clients that I coach with this. And if you would like help with any of the coaching elements of this, by all means, have a look at the description below. You could book a call to have a chat with me if you'd like me to actually just handle everything for you. I do that as well. I have a done for you service where I handle the builds of services like this for clients in markets outside of Australia, so I'm not cannibalizing our business. But I also have coaching available, and there will be a link below on how to work with me if you'd like to. So just click on one of the links below there if you'd like to talk to me, and we'll take it from there. And if not, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.